नमः समयसाराय स्वानुभूत्या चकासते चित्स्वभावाय भावाय सर्वभावान्तरच्छिदे. O rational human, how would you describe something that cannot be given any name, symbol, sign or tag, that cannot be understood through the senses or mind, that cannot be kept within the boundaries of religion, caste, creed or nation? Wake up now and know that just like the sea is unaware of its own vastness and grandeur, so do you. Namaskar friends. Imagine that after a long and tiring week, you have finally got a chance to pamper yourself. You are getting a massage to relax your body and senses. Calm, relaxing music is playing, and you are immersed in a peaceful realm. Now pause here and ponder the role of the five senses in this example. Sense of touch, which is prominently at work in this specific example. Senses of sight and taste are resting at this time. Through the sense of smell, you can take in the aroma of the oil, and through the sense of hearing, you are entering into the peaceful dimension, listening to the soothing music. All this scenario is collectively at work to soothe your mind, also called the sixth sense by some thinkers. In this episode, we will discuss how we can know our real essence using our senses and mind. Our teacher Acharya Kundakunda describes further, the description of a city does not constitute the description of its ruler. In the same way, the description of the activities of the senses and mind is not the description of the soul. Let us understand this teaching through another example. In the case of a king ruling his kingdom, a cabinet consists of a few qualified ministers who report to the king directly. We can compare our five senses with the cabinet in today's teaching. And as the mind lies behind and above the senses, it can be compared with the king's closest ally, who can order, manipulate, or take help from the cabinet, who either gives the king the best or the worst advice, influencing his ruling immensely. No matter if this ally is cunning or friendly with the king, the final decision in each matter remains of the king. That is why nowadays we keep saying that the mind can be your best friend or biggest enemy. It is up to us how we train it, how we train our closest ally. Once we understand the beauty of this example, we feel meditative. And over a period of time, this contemplation fulfills our lives with serenity. We must note that the king is unique, the most powerful, and the wisest amongst his cabinet and closest ally, and has his individuality. Similarly, our soul is unique, the most powerful and the wisest, and its essence differs from its manifestations. The five senses and mind work for the soul and not the other way around. With this teaching, we can be sure how to access that peaceful inner dimension in a time of need. Plenty of practical examples in our surroundings provide clarity on how to proceed on the spiritual path. Let us take another example. Just after the following teaching, where our teacher says, whenever we see a king's procession walking on the street, for practical purposes we say, "Look, the king is going," despite knowing that only one person is the king in the whole procession. In the same way, when we talk about a person's actions, we must consider that his actions can be many, but the real essence behind those is only one, which is completely different from his actions. Needless to say, each of our karmas, emotions, desires, senses, and mind are the procession of the soul king. Hence, as we proceed on the path of spiritual knowledge, we start discriminating between practical and transcendental reality. And we start pondering that only for practical purposes do we call a specific person by a specific name. For practical reasons, we use symbols, signs, words, and any other form of communication. In the transcendental realm, every living being is a pure consciousness with its own individuality, which is beyond physicality. We observe that our senses and mind serve only practical purposes throughout our lives. However, they are also the ones through which we can access the peaceful dimension within. And with the right knowledge, we can make them work efficiently for the Soul King. Now, let us move ahead towards the 5 key takeaways from today's teachings. 1. With the right knowledge, each of our senses can be guided to work as an instrument to access pure consciousness. 2. The mind is the closest to the Soul King. Hence, it can be the best advisor or the worst manipulator for its owner. We must know that it is our soul that has the ultimate authority over our lives. 3. By managing our senses and mind efficiently, we can take our lives in the right and positive direction. A few examples can be: if we aim to lose weight or adopt a healthier lifestyle by waking up early or controlling some of our intense desires or emotions, we can start contemplating the separate nature of our real essence and the momentary sensory pleasures. 4. We can now choose to observe our emotions and negative thoughts from a higher perspective, and we will conclude that they are temporary in nature, and sooner or later they leave and our essence stays intact. 5. In the worst of the adversities, when our mind plays the worst of the games, fearing that unforeseen future that has not come yet, we must not lose faith that it is not the mind but the soul who has the right to give the final verdict. Now it is the time for meditation based upon today's learnings. Relax every muscle of your body. Relax your mind. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and ponder. I have earned each of my senses and mind during my long journey of evolution. My senses and mind are the helpers that serve me closely, but they are not me. I am that charioteer beneath them who has the absolute power to use them wisely. I am peace. I am bliss. I am the wisdom that knows how to proceed on the path of life. I am without form. I cannot be described through any symbol. I am beyond the constriction of gender. I am above the restrictions of my emotions. I am the pure consciousness. I am that soul who can become God's soul by gaining the right knowledge. Through learning the essence of these teachings, I choose to walk on the right path. You may open your eyes whenever you feel okay. That is it for now, friends. I take your leave. Take care. Have a wonderful week ahead. Namaskar. Goodbye.